Hey folks, Matt here with West Chicago Railroad. Today we're going to review my Lionel Santa Fe TMCC F7 diesel breakdown B unit number 333-B. So first we're going to go over some brief history of the F7B unit. We'll go over this specific model's features, and then we'll run around the layout and see if we can break it down. So what is a B unit? Well, a B unit in railroad terminology is a locomotive that basically doesn't have a control cab or a crew compartment. You can walk through the middle of it. However, there's no, obviously, way to control it. So, and they're always connected in tandem with A units. So let's go over the model features of this unit. So I guess the first question is, what in the world is this breakdown B unit? It's basically a sound B unit with a smoke unit as well. But this doesn't smoke in the normal way. It doesn't smoke out of the stacks up here. It actually simulates a B unit breaking down and smoke coming from the back end. You'll see that more in the video. And this B unit itself was offered in the 2007 catalog. It was an additional add-on B unit along with a powered B unit for the Santa Fe F7 ABA set. And what you did was put this in your ABA train and roll it down the tracks, and you can, like I said, simulate the breaking down of a B unit. It has special dialogue for that, and there's four scenarios that you can go through. So it's really, really cool. It's very fun to use. So what's inside this B unit? Well, it uses TMCC as the control. However, you can run this conventionally if you'd like to. I don't know exactly how many features are enabled for that, but I know you can initiate the breakdown sequence and it will smoke and do all the other things in conventional mode. Today we're obviously just focusing on TMCC command control mode only. It does have engine sounds with RPM. There has separately controlled volume, so you can use your TMCC remote to turn the volume up and down. It has special crew talk and tower comm announcements, and there is a rear electrocoupler on the end. So if you need to, disengage this B unit from the other units behind it, you can do that. So how to use the features? Well, so the first thing you're going to need to do is program this in your Cab 1 or Cab 2 remote as an engine. That way you can add it and build it as a train. It does function by itself, but in order to make the features work, it does have to be moving. So obviously you always want to run it with something else. But for this particular video, we'll do some stuff by hand, and then we'll also run it behind the A unit. So what you do is you need to add smoke, and what you're going to do is you're going to take this top panel off right here. And what you're going to see is there's a little hole right here, and that's where you add the smoke. So you do not add the smoke into this panel because, as you can see, there's no place for the smoke to go. And the reason for that is the smoke billows out of these vents on the side here, which gives the effect of the B unit breaking down. So the top here is just held down by magnets. So to get it back on, you just do that. Back here, this also comes off. This is where your volume pot is, so you can obviously adjust the volume manually. There's also a battery compartment if you want to add a 9-volt battery, which I don't need to do because I'm running it on a TMCC command controlled. But if you're running it conventionally, you're going to want a battery with it. That way the sounds stay on when you remove power from the track. So to get that back on, again, everything's kind of magnets here, so they just snap right on, just like that. The rest of the switches on this thing are underneath this unit. They're your typical toggle switches to program it, turn the smoke on and off, turn the sounds on and off. So what we're going to do now is we're going to address the engine and power it up and go over just a couple of quick features. So on the Legacy remote, we're going to hit engine. We're going to do 34, which is the train ID I have this set up as, and I'm going to hit power. So as you can see, it acts as a normal sound booster unit, B unit, for all intents and purposes, and you can just use it as that as well. You don't have to initiate the breakdown scenario. That's optional. It does not have a horn. Does not have a bell. There are no crew talk or tower comms when it's in this state. So at its default state, it is basically just a sound booster unit to go along with your other F7 engines. Okay, so how does this breakdown unit work? Well, we're going to initiate the breakdown sequence, but the train has to be rolling in order for it to activate correctly. So we're going to pull this breakdown unit behind the matching AF7 unit. I did turn the volume down on the A unit, that way we wouldn't hear anything, and then we can just kind of focus on the B unit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start this A unit with a slow crawl. I'm going to power on the B unit and then activate the sequence, and then we can go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and move this A unit with a slow crawl. I'm going to go on the B unit, I'm going to turn it on. And then what you do is you hit aux 1 booster.
We got smooth sailing today.
Yeah, we're on time, but I don't know if they finished servicing that booster.
Well, Sparky's is a short run. How about some coffee?
Okay, thanks.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and this, you can take this around the track a couple times, but I'm going to go ahead and stop the engine here. And now we're just going to go ahead and wait for the sequence and the smoke dialogue sequence to start.
RPM's running a little wild.
Oil pressure in that B unit's dropping.
Didn't that booster just get overhauled?
I don't know.
Keep an eye on the temperature.
Okay. There's a few scenarios that you can do on the remote, and you'll get different types of dialogue. Right now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and shut it down due to a faulty B unit.
We better shut her down. Dispatch, we're shutting down the booster. Better let the service yard know we might be paying a visit. Roger that. Out.
So there's our breakdown unit. I did mention there are 4 scenarios. So after it's rolling and you activate the sequence, after a while, smoke production will start. And then if you bring it to a stop, after the scenario started, you have 4 choices. So you can throttle up slowly and return to the yard like at a crawl speed. You'll hear the train crew like nervously try to nurse the unit along. If you ignore the problem and you just throttle up all the way, the smoke will start even quicker. So it'll basically just start to break down. So if you don't think you can make it back to the yard, you can shut it down like we just did. And then you hear the train crew calling dispatcher saying, hey, we got to shut this thing down. We got an issue with it. And then the last scenario is if you nurse the engine back to the repair yard before it breaks down completely, you'll hear the train crew say, hey, we successfully repaired you know, prepare the engine, and it looks like we're not going to have to go back to the yard. So after the scenario ends, you can just press aux1-3 to restart the locomotive, and then you can start the sequence all over again by pressing aux1 boost, and you can just go through all the scenarios you want. So again, it's kind of based on time and the speed of the locomotive, and that kind of determines the scenario that you're gonna go into. It's a very, very, very cool unit. You know, it adds a little bit of uniqueness. So because this video is just kind of focused on the B unit, that doesn't really make sense to kind of, you know, run the train around the layout. However, I am going to do a review of the full Santa Fe F7 set, and I'm going to run it as an ABBA with the additional powered B unit as well. Plus, I'll have the breakdown unit in there, and then we'll do a breakdown sequence with the ABBA consists as well. So, so look for that coming soon, folks. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, hit that like button. Please leave some comments if you like what you saw or you have any questions. And I would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. Have a great day, folks. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and use the Legacy remote to turn it on. So we're going to hit engine 33, which is what I have the ID I have in my remote. I'm going to hit the power button. Oh, because it's engine 34. Cut.